वासुदेव ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are continuing with Isopanishad. We are in the last end of Isopanishad. So by Krishna mercy, I think we should be able to complete it today. Almost 15, 16 slokas we have seen, and we'll try to complete the last four slokas, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So how do we summarize? This is a one-page summary so that this will be easy for you to understand. How do we typically understand from a sloka perspective? This is kind of one-page summary that we usually show. So how does it classify? Is this way. Like, so you have 18 slokas divided into majorly four major categories. What is the first category is the invocation prayer where it established that Purnatvam. Purnatvam means the Purna philosophy, the complete, whole, perfect. All three should be there. Okay, in totality, in completeness, in perfectness, and in wholesome. Okay, so that is the main part, and then establishing the who is the proprietor, who is the owner. Everything belongs to him, and we should accept him. So first identification is all about who we are and who is the Supreme Lord. Okay, and the karma portion. So if you see the trend or the way, the pattern in which you see Bhagavad Gita, also the same way only it goes. In Bhagavad Gita, it will be more about first Atma Sakshakaram, self-realization, and then get into the Bhagavan, Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagavan realization. Same way, first three slokas is all about Ishavasyam, the karma, understanding about why this Jivatma is so much binded or bounded in this material nature, and who is the Jivatma. Okay, so that portion is getting covered, focusing on getting out of the sense gratification. That is the third sloka. And then from fourth to eighth is all about his vibhuti. Vibhuti means about understanding that Brahman, understanding the large energy and who we are. Like we are all part and parcel. And then having that Samadarshana portion, like all entities, all living entities are part and parcel of him. Those are all sparks coming out of him. Okay? And then once that is established, from 9th sloka to 14th sloka is about Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is all about knowledge, why that knowledge is required. So initially, what is that knowledge? Knowledge about the Supreme Lord. Knowledge about He is everywhere. He is very close. He is very far away. He is very near. And He can eat. He can do whatever He wants through all His different sense organs or whatever be it. And then the understanding of what is the cultivation of knowledge, the vidya and avidya. What is exactly is knowledge, what is exactly is not knowledge, what is more of ignorance. Okay, and what is the benefit of knowledge is to transcend or is to move away or is to liberate from this janma mrityu jara vyadhi, moving away from the birth and death. And when we do that, who are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to do the devatas? Because Vedas recommend the devatas, because when we get into a regulated way of life, when we get into rules and regulations, Vedas prescribe those rules and regulations so that we follow and then slowly attain that bhakti, right? So are we following that? Then no. You have to go into the worship of the personal form of the Lord. It is not about the Brahman, it is not about the devatas, or it is not about the worship of even the low level of people, and then from low level of people to the higher level of people, and not to the devatas, and not even to the not into the what do you say, the Brahman effulgence portion, and not even to the Paramatma, directly to that personal form, right? So his form, which is very important, and how do we do it? Is through his name, form, qualities, and Leela, his pastimes. Okay. So when we do that, we will be able to come out of the material. So by 14th sloka, the conclusion is fully established. The fact is fully established that as a Jivatma, I came there, I have to understand that Purnatvam, I have to understand that Supreme Personality of Godhead, and for me, it requires a lot of sense control, sense activity should be controlled. I have to channelize my karma, and I have to understand who is he. So who am I? I am able to understand. So I can understand that he is the personality of Godhead. I have to do my seva. And what is the knowledge I have to gain? Knowledge about him, knowledge about myself, knowledge about how do I take up bhakti, how I should do that bhakti. What I should not do, I should not go towards the devatas. I should not go towards all mundane philosophers. I should not go to even to the what do you say, the Brahman portion. I have to focus directly towards that supreme person. So it's a gradual progression, but with the cultivation of the knowledge, we will be able to get it. So that is how you see the pattern of the slokas. And last four, as I mentioned, all about prayers. So in the prayers also, how is it established? That is also in one form. How is it like from 1920? Sorry. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How is it? First of all, I have to have your darshan. For me to have your darshan, the effulgence has to be the Brahman portion, or the effulgence portion has to be moved out so that I can see his beautiful form. And then when I see that, I will be able to have him. And then what is the request? So any prayer will have we have seen in the previous slokas also, even Bhagavatam also, any prayer will have majorly four categories. What is that? About my position, about why am I doing it, and what is that I want. And then about glories of the Lord also. So four things will be definitely there in any prayer. What is my situation, and glorifying the Lord in whatever state, and then what is that I want, or what does we want, and finally what is the benefit of that prayer. So everything will be encompassed. So the Lord will give some benefit, and then also the devotees or the persons who is reciting prayer also will tell, okay, this prayer if you do this is a benefit, the Falashruti portion. So that is how the prayer portion is. Same way, what is that the prayer is, please make me to come out of this material body. Please bless me to always remember you. And also I'm doing my complete full surrender so that I can come out of my all my karmic reactions, everything, all my hindrances towards this material sense gratification, material attachment, material affection, and then get a permanent position, get a permanent spiritual position. Okay, clear? If somebody is going to ask you, can you give me a briefing about Isopanishad within 1 hour means, or within half an hour, you should be able to summarize it nicely from the start to the end, the importance of the sloka, the background of Isopanishad, why it came, and then what is the importance, why Prabhupada specifically translated this Isopanishad. It's a small book, but still it has got a lot of emphasis, importance of worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a Bhagavan realization. And then to ensure that all the other sampradayas, all the other philosophers, all the logical thinkers, everybody also accept this fact, because the same Isopanishad, the sloka, they might interpret in a completely different perspective, different way of seeing it as Isha Vasami, that supreme Brahman, that supreme energy, that's all. But Prabhupada wanted to make sure. In fact, actually, it is from Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Sarshi Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada. The first commentary was written by Bhakti Siddhanta Sarshi Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur also had that portion, and then he gave it to Bhakti Siddhanta Sarshi Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhanta Sarshi Thakur gave a very elaborate bhashyam. Bhashyam means the commentary, and then Prabhupada took it from him and then made a presentable way for us to understand. Okay. So this is how you need to present it in a very nice way. Clear? Let's finish. Let's finish the last four slokas. So what is that one-liner? The knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what we need to understand. So that which makes us close towards the Lord. That which makes close means here to do bhakti, to do devotion service, to increase our faith, to have a loyalty towards him. So we need to have that particular understanding. For 15 we have seen. Let's get into 16. Please read the translation. Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Translation: O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun as am I. Purport. The sun and its rays are one and the same qualitatively. Similarly, the Lord and the living entities are one and the same in quality. The sun is one, but the molecules of the sun rays are innumerable. The sun rays constitute part of the sun, and the sun and its rays conjointly constitute the complete sun. Within the sun itself resides the sun god, and similarly within the supreme spiritual planet, Gokula Vrindavana, from which the Brahma Jyoti effulgence is emanating, the Lord enjoys his eternal pastime as verified in the Brahma Samhita 5.29. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vriksha laksavritesu surabhirabhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrahma sevaya manam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, fulfilling all desires in abodes filled with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of wish-fulfilling trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or goddess of fortune. The Brahma Jyoti is described in the Brahma Samhita as the rays emanating from the supreme spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavana, just as the sun's rays emanate from the sun globe. Until one surpasses the glare of the Brahma Jyoti, one cannot receive information of the land of the Lord. The impersonalist philosopher, blinded as they are by the dazzling Brahma Jyoti, can realize neither the factual abode of the Lord nor his transcendental form. Limited by the poor fund of knowledge, such impersonalist thinkers cannot understand the all-blissful transcendental form of Lord Krishna. In this prayer, therefore, Sri Isopanishad petitions the Lord to remove the effulgent rays of the Brahma Jyoti so that the pure devotee can see his all-blissful transcendental form. By realizing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, one experiences the auspicious aspect of the Supreme, and by realizing the Paramatma or all-pervading feature of the Supreme, one experiences an even more auspicious enlightenment. But by meeting the personality of Godhead himself face to face, the devotees experience the most auspicious feature of the Supreme. Since he is addressed as a primeval philosopher and maintainer and well-wisher of the universe, the supreme truth cannot be impersonal. This is the verdict of Sri Isopanishad. The word Pushan, maintainer, is specially significant, for although the Lord maintains all beings, he specially maintains his devotees. After surpassing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti and seeing the personal aspect of the Lord and his most auspicious eternal form, the devotee realizes the absolute truth in full.
Thank you, Mataji. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So, very clear understanding. See, when in Bhagavatam, when the Sanat Kumaras, they wanted to have a darshan of the Lord, ideally, if you go through Bhagavatam, very clearly Bhagavatam mentions that they were more from an impersonal philosophical background. So when they started studying, when Brahma, in Bhagavatam 3rd canto, very clearly when Brahma established the Sanat Kumaras, for progenium, right? So here Krishna is mentioned as progeny. Progeny means, the word English, they have used the Sanskrit word progenitor. Progenitor means progenium. Progenium means somebody who will give birth or who will expand into multiple, so that everything will keep coming. So that is how the word came. So when Brahma brought in Sanat Kumaras, so Sanat Kumaras had a different goal, different objective. So what they did, they said, no, we will not get into all kind of this grahastha way of life and then doing prajna. We are going to do tapasya. So they went out, right? But what was their tapasya was more from an impersonal philosophical understanding that yes, there is a supreme truth, there is a supreme Brahman, and that supreme truth will not have any kind of a form. He's at the Parabrahman stage. He's everywhere, Sarva Vyapi, but he doesn't specifically. So, but the moment they came and when they wanted to have darshan in a way where they came to Vaikunta, the moment they came to Vaikunta, we all know the story, the Jaya Vijaya story. Okay, so Bhagavatam very clearly mentions a very nice understanding. Immediately, Lord Vishnu comes out, right? He comes out then with his Chaturabhuja form, he beautifully stands there. And just by having his darshan, or what they specifically do is when they pay obeisances, they smell the his lotus feet, they smell the tulasi leaves. So when they smell the lotus feet and tulasi on the tulasi charan, we say tulasi charan, right? So when they smell the tulasi flowers, immediately they got that realization. Until then, they were in a way where like, okay, that Supreme Brahma is this one. But when they wanted to have darshan, they thought, okay, Narayana is there, Brahma is there, Lord Shiva is there, all the Anantakoti, Brahmanda, all these people are there, this Devatas are also there. But still, they were not fully convinced that yes, he is the Supreme Personality. So they just came to have darshan. But the moment they had the darshan, immediately they had the imparting of the knowledge. Imparting of that knowledge means what? Imparting that Vishnu form or that supreme form is the personality of God. He is the Param Brahma. He is the Parandhama. He is the Param Purusha. And that came just by smelling that Tulasi Charan. Okay, so that is why if you go through all our Sampradaya philosophical understanding, having Tulasi and specifically Tulasi Charan is very, very auspicious. So same way, the impersonal in Brahma Samhita also, Lakshmi Sahasra Satasamprama Sevya Manam Tatat. There are thousands and thousands of Lakshmis, and there are thousands of Vaikuntha planets where Lord Vishnu expands and then everywhere to do the maintenance. In fact, actually creation, maintenance, and destruction also is his job. Right? So that is where Prabhupada wants to bring this portion very clearly. Understand the all blissful transcendental form of Krishna. Okay. Continue. Let's continue. Next to two paras.
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And Prabhuji, you mentioned about this four Kumaras. So they were already devotees. So that's why they could see the Lord also, no, Prabhuji. Like even before they smelled the tulsi leaves.
Yeah, they
were
were
all
devotees, but that full surrender came immediately after
okay.
having personal darshan.
Hmm.
So after the prayers, in that episode also, Jaya Vijaya will be cursed, and then Lord will give them. Lord will play a very diplomatic role there. Finally, both will pray, and then the Sanat Kumaras, when they do the prayers, in the prayers very specifically they will say, yes, now we got the complete realization. All that we will do is just to glorify your name wherever we go. That is our goal of our life. So like that they will conclude.
Yeah, correct, Prabhuji. Okay, I'll read that. In this Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami states the complete conception of the absolute truth is realized in the personality of Godhead because he is almighty and possesses full transcendental potencies. The full potency of the absolute truth is not realized in the Brahma Jyotir. Therefore, Brahman realization is only partial realization of the personality of Godhead. O learned sages, the first syllable of the word Bhagwan, Bha, has two meanings. The first is one who fully maintains, and the second is guardian. The second syllable Ga means guide, leader, or creator. The syllable Van indicates that every being lives in him and that he also lives in every being. In other words, the transcendental sound Bhagavan represents infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength, and influence, all without a tinge of material inebriety. The Lord fully maintains his unalloyed devotees and he guides them progressively on the path towards devotional perfection. As the leader of his devotees, he ultimately awards the desired results of devotional service by giving himself to them. The devotees of the Lord see the Lord eye to eye by his causeless mercy. Thus, the Lord helps his devotees reach the supermost spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavan. Being the creator, he can bestow all necessary qualifications upon his devotees so that they can ultimately reach him. The Lord is the cause of all causes. In other words, since there is nothing that caused him, he is the original cause. Consequently, he enjoys his own self by manifesting his own internal potency. The external potency is not exactly manifested by him, for he expands himself as the Purushas, and it is in these forms that he maintains the features of the material manifestation. By such expansions, he creates, maintains, and annihilates the cosmic manifestation. The living entities are also differentiated expansions of the Lord's self. And because some of them desire to be lords and imitate the Supreme Lord, he allows them to enter into the cosmic creation with the with the option to fully utilize their propensity to lord it over nature. Because of the presence of his parts and parcels, the living entities, the entire phenomenal world is stirred into action and reaction. Thus, the living entities are given full facilities to lord it over material nature. But the ultimate controller is the Lord Himself in His plenary feature as Paramatma, the super soul who is one of the Purushas. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between the living entity Atma and the controlling Lord Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. Paramatma is the controller and Atma is the controlled. Therefore, they are in different categories because the Paramatma fully cooperates with the Atma. He is known as constant companion of the living being. The all pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of waking and sleeping, as well as in potential states from which the Jiva Shakti, living force, is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to him in heart and soul. And whenever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no engagement but the glorification of the Lord's transcendental activities. Those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, namely those who have realized only the Brahman or Paramatma features of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of the perfect devotees. The Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts, and thus, out of His special favor, He dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. The speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this because they more or less depend on their own strength. As stated in Katha Upanishad 1.2.23, the Lord can be known only by those whom He favors and not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon His pure devotees only. Sri Isopanishad thus points to the favor of the Lord, which is beyond the purview of the Brahma Jyotir. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So whenever we say Krishna willing, right? So what is a Krishna willing means? Krishna willing we say, right? So what is a Krishna willing? Everything that we want, we have one desire, but above that desire, there is a sanctioning personality as the Paramatma, and there is the Bhagavan who will do that, who will understand the desire, and then who sees that which is more beneficial or which is more good for us. So we might desire something, but it might be opposite. We might desire something, it might be partially fulfilled. We might desire something, it might be completely fulfilled. We might desire something which might be overly fulfilled. We might not even think about it. Right? There are four categories. Sometimes we are completely devastated, completely opposite. Sometimes partially okay. Sometimes completely like whatever we want, it is gone. But there are sometimes we see like we beyond our expectation something might have happened. So in a way, all the fulfilling activity is done by the Paramatma. Right? So that is why this question, how do we understand the all pervading feature of the Lord, sorry, which exists in all circumstances of waking and sleeping, as well as in the potential states. How do we understand this? Anybody?
He's the Paramatma, so He's always there with us in all the states in which we are in also.
Anybody else?
In our thoughts,
No.
if each and every second is there.
Okay, anybody else? In all our thoughts.
Each and every second in our thoughts, he should be there, right, Prabhuji? Like,
If we
Here,
read it one
Prabhuji,
thing.
it is saying like all pervading feature of the Lord means Lord is there in every living entity in the form of soul and in the form of super soul. The Atma and the Jivatma, Paramatma. So the Atma is the soul and the Paramatma is the super soul. So here it is said that the feature of the Lord is both Paramatma and Atma, but the Paramatma controls the Atma, but the Atma is not controlled. Atma cannot control Paramatma
No,
because
don't complicate. Okay,
yeah,
okay, hold on,
Hare
hold on.
Krishna, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
sorry, Prabhuji, I want to rephrase. He is there every second, everywhere, but whether Maya is covering us, whether we are recognizing him, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
As the invocation states about the Purnam, feature that he's Purnam, he's complete whole. So he's all pervading. So even he exists as Brahma, like in all the features, Brahman, Paramatma, as well as Bhagwan. So he's all pervading that way. He's Purnam.
Okay. See, I'll give you a clue. The all-pervading feature of the Lord is what is described. What is that all-pervading feature? It exists in waking and sleeping. What is this waking and sleeping? This is what I wanted to make you understand.
It means even when we are sleeping or we are waking, it's
No,
always
it is
there
not
with
about
us.
our sleeping.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Is it like Bhagwan will be in Yoga Nidra for 4 months, but regardless whether he's in the sleep or he's wake up, he's still there everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why others are so silent. All of you are in sleeping mode, or all of you are in your waking up mode. I don't know. But very important understanding should be there. See, when the Lord comes, when the Karnodakshay Vishnu, if you see Karnodakshay Vishnu and Garbhodakshay Vishnu, they are in what form? They are not standing. They are like not they're not sitting. They are always in a kind of a sleeping mode, right? If you see the Ananta Shainam or Ananta Sesha Shainam, like in the Shainam means in the sleeping mode. So he goes to sleep for some period, and then he comes out. He wakes up for some period, and then during the sleeping something happens. During waking up something happens, right? So that is what Prabhupada wants to make us understand. What is that? It doesn't. It is immaterial. Like sometimes if you see in Mahabharata, we see sometimes where Krishna might be looking like sleeping. He might just have his hand on his head, and then like in the Ananta Shainam pose, he'll be like kind of in a very gentle sleeping, mild sleeping category. But still, something would be always happening, right? The same way, Prabhupada wants to make us understand that the all-pervading feature, the Brahman. How do we understand? It happens. It functions in all circumstances of his state, whether he's woke, he's in a very sleepy mood, or he is in a waking state, or as well in all potential states. Whatever you think, his um, his activities or his actions continues to happen, which means the jivatmas keep coming out of his. How does the jivatmas come out from, and from which the jivatmas is generated as both conditioned deliberate, which means what? How does the jivatmas come out from the Karnodaksha Vishnu? How does jivatma come out?
From his breath.
Bubbles forms from.
Yeah, through two ways. One is through the breathing. Through the breathing, inhaling and exhaling, it comes and goes out. But mainly from the pores of his skin, right? From his pores, from the skin, from the hair, whatever the pores of the skin, right? So within the pores of the skin, innumerable jivatmas come out. Okay. So Prabhupada want to make a very nice statement about it. So don't assume that sometimes the Lord is very inactive. He's just silent. No. The Lord's potency is continuously happening, whether he is in the Shainam state or he is in the waking state. And then all the jivatmas here specifically he's calling out both the conditioned and the liberated. Right? Why does liberated means always there, right? Why does they have to come out again? Doesn't mean that they have to be like separate. No, So the liberated persons here, they also be in the permanent state, and then once they liberated after the entire kalpa is over, and then they will be assigned some activities, some kind of seva, something. So they also come, they also go, but still they are in a liberated state, right? Like whenever we call as the jiva tattva portion of nitya siddhas, right? We are all nitya baddhas. Nitya baddhas means we are already bounded. We are all nitya. We are almost eternally binded. And there are nitya siddhas. They are already eternally liberated. So they come, they do some activity, they do some seva, and then they go back. Okay. So very clearly, 2 lines, Prabhupada is giving a wonderful definition of what is Brahman. The Brahman is nothing but the feature of the Lord is pervasive across, not only in this material manifestation, but across the material manifestation, number one. And number two, it exists in all circumstances. So whatever is coming out, the Brahman is coming out of the moolam, of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, of the Karnodaksha Vishnu, the Karana, right? From the main source. So the main source, if you see, is always in the sleeping mode. Even the Garbhodakshana Vishnu is also in the sleeping mode, where the Lord Brahma comes out of his navel. When you go to the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu also, somewhere if you see, nowadays only you see the 400 form of the Vishnu in a standing position with Sangha Chakra Gada Padma. But wherever you see photo, wherever it is only in the Shainam form, where you will see Lakshmi Devi massaging his lotus feet, right? That is the standard feature of Vishnu. But nowadays, when we have Kali Yuga, you have Balaji, and then standing post, all those things. But when you say in general understanding from a philosophical, from Vedic perspective, Vishnu means he's in a Shaina column only, right? So that is where Prabhupada wants to make us a very clear understanding. It is immaterial of his whatever is happening, it will continue to happen, including the Jivatmas coming and going. So always don't assume that Brahman realization is nothing only on the material platform, materialization. Even the Jivatma portions are also part of the the activities of Jivatma coming, going, everything is also part of that Mahat Tattva, right? Whenever we understand what is meant by Mahat Tattva, this entire thing is called the Mahat Tattva. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sir, Prabhuji, the all-pervading feature of the Lord, you means about this Mahat, what we were telling, the first thing. It is the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. The combination of all three is the all-pervading. Means you mean to say like Krishna is always active, he is in full potential, whether he is waking or he is sleeping, he is always active and he is in full.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
To add to the top of it, when you mention the word Krishna, here it is referring to the plenary experience of Karnodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Shirodaksha Vishnu. The actual original Krishna, he is always there in Golaka. He is always playful. He is playing with his friends. He is taking care of cows. He is doing some other activity. Okay, so his activities are at a very higher level in Goloka Vrindavan. But his expansions of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Karnadaksha Vishnu, and all at the next level, they will do all these activities. Okay. And Krishna, that is why even in Mayapur, everybody will say, don't disturb Krishna for everything. He is having so much of fun, and then he's having everything, and then we keep asking this, that, and all. So that is why sometimes we are very specific when we pray to the Lord.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
But he's also duty bound to follow instructions.
So, Prabhuji, the last portion of the purport, I think it's about the Chaturshloki Gita, which Srila Prabhupada explains about dissipating of darkness, and the Lord helps
Dadami Buddhi Yogantam, Dadami Buddhi Yogantam, and then what is
because
from Tesham Tadavayuttaram,
how did he get that Vedic wisdom? That is
Evanukampartam, Ham Ajnana Jamataka, Nashpami Atma Bhavastu.
Sorry, Prabhu, could not hear properly.
Prabhuji cannot hear, some sound is coming.
One second.
He had the body.
Kamanand.
Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanachamah nashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata. So atmabhavasto means what? Sitting inside the heart, I'm giving that the light of knowledge, jnanadipena bhashvata. So I'm giving that knowledge. So sitting inside the heart as the Paramatma feature of the Lord, he will be able to. He dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. So the speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this, but because they are more or less dependent on their own strength. The same way as mentioned in Katha Upanishad, only he can be seen or understood only by and he favors. And this is very important line. So why Prabhupada is so nicely, whenever he glorifies Krishna, the purport we need to appreciate so nicely. The purport very clearly Prabhupada mentions Krishna is Lord Krishna. But that Krishna's mercy, but Krishna's understanding, Krishna's knowledge will come only through devotees. Okay. So here he making it, but special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees. Okay. So very nicely that is also. He is equal. He is Suhritam Sarvabhutana, right? So he is Suhritam Sarvabhutana means he is the well-wisher of everybody, but he gives special mercy to his devotees. Vayur Anilam Amritam Atedam Bashmatam Shwariram Om Kratos Smara Kratam Smara Kratos Smara Kratam Smara. Smara is very nice word. Okay. Yeah. Smaranam, the smara is very important. Yeah. Anybody else? Whomsoever want to read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yep.
Uh, Translation. Let this temporary body be burnt to ashes, and let the air of the life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Purport. The temporary material body is certainly a foreign dress. The Bhagavad Gita 2.20 clearly says that after the destruction of the material body, the living entity is not annihilated, nor does he loses his identity. The identity of the living eh, the identity of the living entity is never impersonal or formless. Or the contrary, it is the material dress that is formless and that takes a shape according to the form of the indestructible person. No living entity is as is wrongly thought of by those with a poor fund of knowledge. This mantra verifies the fact that the living entity exists after the annihilation of the material body. In the material world, material nature displays wonderful workmanship by creating varieties of bodies for the living beings according to their propensities for sense gratification. The living entity who wants to taste stool is given a material body that is quite suitable for eating stool, that of a hog. Similarly, one who wants to eat the flesh and blood of other animals may be given a tiger's body equipped with the suitable teeth and claws. But the human being is not meant for eating flesh, nor does he have any desire to taste stool, even in the most ab- original state. Human teeth are so made that they can chew and cut fruits and vegetables. Although there are two canine teeth, so that primitive humans can eat flesh if they so desire. But in any case, the material bodies of all animals and men are foreign to the living entity. They change according to the living entity's desire for sense gratification. In the cycle of evolution, the living entity changes bodies one after another. When the world was full of water, the living entity took an aquatic form. Then he passed to vegetable life, from vegetable life to worm life, from worm life to bird life, from bird life to animal life, and from animal life to the human form. The highest developed form is the human form when it is possessed of a full sense of spiritual knowledge. The highest development of one's spiritual sense is described in this mantra. One should give up the material body, which will be turned to ashes, and follow the air of life to merge into the eternal reservoir of air. The living being activities are performed within the body through the movement of different kinds of air, known, known in the summary as prana vayu. The yogis generally study how to control the airs of the body. The soul is supposed to rise from one circle to a circle of air to another until it rises to the Randra, the high circle. From the point the perfect yogi can transfer himself to any planet he likes. The process is to give up one material body and then enter into another. But the highest perfection of such changes occur only when the living entity is able to give up the material body altogether, as suggested in the mantra, and enter into the spiritual atmosphere where he can develop a completely different type of body, a spiritual body which never has to meet death or
Thank
change.
you, bro. Very nice. So this is also again very clear. So prayer also very the Smaranam portion is already mentioned. Vayuhu, Anilam, Amritam, Ata Idam, Bhashmantam. Okay, Bhashmantam means ke Bhasmasat Kurute Arjuna. In Bhagavad Gita also the same thing. So everything will become Bhasmam. Bhasmam means getting into ashes. Okay, what is that? Shariram. Okay, this Shariram, not Sariram, sorry. Shariram will, Vayu is made up of Vayu, Anilam, Amr. So it is indestructible. And then it is to be destroyed. Okay, so what is the, so this is the realization. So when we go and pray to the Lord, what is that we pray? My current situation is bad, I know that I have to come out, this is my, because this one, so please. Okay, so what is that? Krato smara, kritam smara, krato smara. Like, no, if you see, and the word he is making it very nicely. Okay, kritam smara. Okay, so nicely he's making krato, kritam, krato smara. So all has got different meanings. Okay, in a way, if you see, he is asking, please remember all my sacrifices. What kind of sacrifices? So what kind of sacrifices here? It means the sacrifices made through the external body. Okay, so that is why Bhagavad Gita emphasizes on austerity, is because this shariram, this is only for sacrifice to the Lord. Doesn't mean that okay, I will immediately do a sacrifice. No, I will try to do all kind of activities which will please the Lord. Okay, all kind of activities which will please the Lord, right? So in that way we do that sacrifices, and then please remember you, and then we say please remember all that I've done for you. So this is like as though Lord will not remember, as though of course Lord will definitely remember, Lord will definitely know, but this is begging, this is the mercy of the seeking mercy of the Lord. Okay? So in a way it looks like, hey, what is this? Yeah, I now if you see from a prayer perspective, what is this prayer? It is simply like, as though this person doesn't know properly about Krishna. He is just simply saying, Krishna, I've done so much of things for you, and please remember all that, and then you have to benefit me. Right? This is like, it looks like somebody will say, this looks very childish. What is this? Krishna is all pervasive. Krishna is always everything. But prayer is a prayer is a prayer when you have to bring it out very genuinely, very affectionately, and then you have to. This is more from our perspective of putting it. Okay, that is how we have to see, and even in Alvar Pasurams, when we read through the great Acharyas, Alvas, like even Prabhupada also mentioned, like, when we say yam yam api smaran bhavam or tyajakti antakalevaram, and then even the other sloka where at the moment of death everybody remembers. So those are all where everybody will say, okay, at the moment of that let me remember. No, it will not. So Prabhupada will say, no, it is not possible. You have to do a continuous engagement. Then only Krishna will take care. So then only even if you don't remember, Krishna will remember, right? So that is where the point is. The second point is, Advas will say, I have done it before itself, so please recollect, please engage that particular whatever things that I have done for you, please do that accordingly. Okay, அப்போதைக்கு இப்போதே சொல்லி வைத்தேன், with nice parcel. Okay, so they will say at the moment of death, I don't know, my eyes will not open, my ears will not listen, my heart will be in a different position, my memory will be completely lost, I don't know in what state I will be. So now itself I will pray for you. Now itself, if I'm in since my sense organs are in a perfect state, my body is in a good state, I will do all kind of yajnas, I'll do all kind of tapasya, I'll do all kind of austerity, I'll go for parikrama also. I will do all kind of austerities on the body so that at the moment of the death, even if I'm not able to remember you, even my bodily parts doesn't cooperate, you have to please protect me. Okay, so that is how the contextually we need to understand this sloka. And Prabhupada brings the understanding of the bodily transformation. This is more from a bodily transformation from lowest level to the highest. This is not about evolution of the so-called Darwin's evolution theory. Darwin's evolution theory is completely, which means like it doesn't exist at all. So from this came, then the others get destroyed. No, right? Here still everything remains the same. Only the bodily portions of that particular jivatma gets transformed from one level to the next level. When you say one level to next level, most importantly, the consciousness gets enhanced. The knowledge level gets enhanced. Okay, that is what we have to understand. The senses remain the same. Even for a normal ant, it will have all the senses. Big dinosaur also will have the sense. That is not at the base. But at the consciousness level, the knowledge level of understanding, that will vary. Okay. So that is what Prabhupada is mentioning, from aquatic to vegetable to worm to bird to animal. And then within animals also you have multiple varieties. And then finally, the human form. And he will definitely get a spiritual body. So we have one stula shariram and sukshma shariram, right? The stula is whatever we see outside. Sukshma shariram is already we have the subtle form, and we will definitely get another Sachidananda, a very blissful form. Then we can do that service through that particular. Okay.
Prabhuji, what's the difference between the what was the word? Sorry, Prabhuji, I'll ask you in a moment.
The stula and sukshma. No. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, pran vayu and soul. What's the difference between pran vayu and soul? Soul is.
No, vayu is the consciousness, or it is actually same, but in a way where soul has got a specific form, soul has got a specific feature, specific body, everything, and that is residing in one particular location in the heart. The vayu is the consciousness portion of the soul that is all pervading within the body.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Very good.
When you say life wire means what? That source of life that is present there. The qualitative nature of the soul is the vayu, the life wire.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else want to read? We'll try to complete it in another half an hour.
I will read, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji.
Here in the material world, material nature forces the living entity to change his body due to his different desires for sense gratification. The desires are represented in the various species of life, from germs to the most perfected material bodies, those of Brahma and the demigods. All of these living entities have bodies composed of matter in the different shapes. The intelligent man sees oneness not in the variety of the bodies, but in the spiritual identity. The spiritual spark, which is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is the same whether he is in a body of a hog or in the body of the demigod. The living entity takes on different bodies according to his pious and vicious activities. The human body is highly developed and has full consciousness. According to the Bhagavad Gita 7.19, the most perfect man surrenders unto the Lord after many, many lifetimes of cultural knowledge. The culture of knowledge reaches perfection only when the knower comes to the point of surrendering unto the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva. Otherwise, even after attaining knowledge of one's spiritual identity, if one does not come to the point of knowing that the living entities are eternal part and parcel of the whole and can never become the whole, one has to fall down again into the material atmosphere. Indeed, one must fall down even if he has come one with the Brahma Jyoti. As we have learned from previous mantras, the Brahma Jyoti emanating from the transcendental body of the Lord is full of spiritual spark that are individual entities with the full sense of existence. Sometimes these living entities want to enjoy their senses and therefore they are placed in the material world to become false lord under the dictation of the senses. The desire for lordship is the material disease of the living being. For under the spell of sense enjoyment that transmigrates through the various bodies manifested in the material world. Becoming one with the Brahma Jyoti does not represent mature knowledge. Only by surrendering unto the Lord completely and developing one's sense of spiritual service does one reach the highest perfectional stage. In this mantra, the living entity prays to enter the spiritual kingdom of God after relinquishing his material body and the material air. The devotee prays to the Lord to remember his activities and the sacrifices he has performed before his material body is turned into the ashes. He makes this prayer at the time of death with the full consciousness of his past deeds and of ultimate goal. One who is completely under the rule of material nature remembers the heinous activities he performed during the existence of this material body, and consequently he gets another material body after the death. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 confirms this youth. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यज्यते ante kalevaram tam tam evati kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitava. Whatever state of being one remembers when he requites his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Thus, the mind carries the living entity's propensities into the next life. Unlike the simple animals who have no developed mind, the dying human being can remember the activities of his life like a dreams at night. Therefore, his mind remains unsurcharged with the material desires and consequently he cannot enter into the spiritual kingdom with a spiritual body. The devotees, however, develop a sense of love for Godhead by practicing devotional service to the Lord. Even if at the time of death a devotee does not remember his service to the Lord does not forget him. This prayer is given to remind the Lord of the devotee's sacrifices, but even if there is no such a reminder, the Lord does not forget the service rendering by his pure devotee. The Lord clearly describes his intimate relationship with his devotee in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30 to 34. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in the devotional service, he is to consider saintly because he is purely situated in his determination. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti declares it boldly that my devotee never perishes. O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be the lower birth women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as the Shudras workers can attain the supreme destination. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotee and the saintly kings, therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Okay. Thank you. So, I was trying to say one main point. Yeah. So at the moment of death, as I mentioned earlier in this chapter, in this particular paragraph, also Prabhupada makes it very clear. We don't have to worry about it. Krishna will never forget us. So even a small, whatever small activity that we have done, Krishna will definitely do it. Okay. So that is our realization. But one realization that we wanted to everybody, if you've seen even in movies everywhere, even in great some. At the moment of that, I've seen many of them, when I when go and do some prayers for my relatives or my own uncles, everybody, they will be simply, they will be in a very morose state. They'll be crying. And somebody will ask, I myself have asked, they will say, you don't know what and all I've done. So sometimes even in like movies, no, they will reveal some specific truth and all, and some of the truth will be very shocking also. And so at least at the moment of that, they will realize what is actually this. So that is where Krishna gives an opportunity to make some surrender. So for some, the death will happen just like that, right? You don't even have to. They don't even have to think about death coming. It will happen just like that, and then death. For some, death won't come just like that easily. So in a way, that is the moment, that is the period which Krishna gives an opportunity for them to make some kind of a pratyajna, to make some kind of a what do you say, prayer period or whatever. So that is where they'll continuously, crying, and then they will try to reveal this, that, and they'll try to recollect so much of things. Okay, I know one of my own uncle, he was like there for last 2-3 weeks, but the 2-3 weeks he was continuously crying, and then he was trying this, that, and all, and then so we did prayers, we did, but then he, of course, he revealed so many other unknown things also, but he got a very glorious death, right? But that is where I see that, sometimes sometimes you will say, okay, this is one way of facing death. Then the other way of facing death is also this way, so that there's an opportunity for that to do the repentance and then glorify. So these are all will happen only at the human form of life. And then to uh, so these are all will happen when we are in the state where we are able to remember Krishna and then glorify Krishna. Okay, that is where we need to ensure that we continuously utilize every moment. Like when we read through Nectar of Instruction also, what is that the thing? So as far as possible, we always try to remember Krishna so that our death is peaceful, our death is easy, and our death is beneficial also. Right? So Prabhupada will say the art of dying. I mean, my Guru Maharaj will always say it is not of art of living, it is more of art of dying. How well we are prepared for the final moment. Okay, continue. Let's finish this. Manmana bhava madbhakto maddaji mam namaskuru. Okay, manmana bhava madbhakto. So engage your mind in always thinking about me. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. So you worship me in full, complete observance. Finish this portion. Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yep.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains these verses in this way. One should regard a devotee of Krishna to be on the right path of the saints, even though such a devotee may seem to be sudurachara, a person of loose character. One should try to understand the real purport of the word sudurachara. A conditioned soul has to act for double functions, namely for the maintenance of the body and again for self-realization. Social status, mental development, cleanliness, austerity, nourishment, and the struggle for existence are all for the maintenance of the body. The self-realization part of one's activities is executed in one's occupation as a devotee of the Lord, and one performs actions in that connection also. One must perform these two different functions along parallel lines because a conditioned soul cannot give up the maintenance of his body. The proportion of activities for the maintenance of the body decreases, however, in proportion to the increase in devotional service. As long as the proportion of devotional service does not come to the right point, there is a chance for an occasional exhibition of worldliness. But it should be noted that such worldliness cannot continue for long because by the grace of the Lord, such imperfections will come to an end very shortly. Therefore, the path of devotional service is the only right path. If one is on the right path, even an occasional occurrence of worldliness does not hamper one in the advancement of self-realization. The facilities of devotional service are denied the impersonalists because they are attached to the Brahmajyoti feature of the Lord. As suggested in the previous mantras, they cannot penetrate the Brahmajyoti because they do not believe in the personality of Godhead. Their business is mostly word jugglery and mental speculation. Consequently, the impersonalists pursue a fruitless labor, as confirmed in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 12.5. All the facilities suggested in the mantra can be easily obtained by constant contact with the personal feature of the Absolute Truth. Devotional service to the Lord consists essentially of the 9 transcendental activities: hearing about the Lord, glorifying the Lord, remembering the Lord, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping the Lord, offering prayers to the Lord, serving the Lord, and enjoying the friendly association with the Lord, and surrendering everything unto the Lord. These 9 principles of devotional service, taken all together or one by one, help a devotee remain constantly in touch with God. In this way, at the end of life, it is easy for the devotee to remember the Lord. By adopting only one of these 9 principles, the following renowned devotees of the Lord were able to achieve the highest perfection. By hearing the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, the hero of the Srimad Bhagavatam, attained the desired result. Just by glorifying the Lord, Shukdev Goswami, the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, attained his perfection. By praying to the Lord, Akrura attained the desired result. By remembering the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj attained the desired result. By worshipping the Lord, Prithu Maharaj attained the perfection. By serving the lotus feet of the Lord, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, attained the perfection. By rendering personal service to the Lord, Hanuman attained the desired result. Through his friendship with the Lord, Arjun attained the desired result. By surrendering everything he had to the Lord, Maharaj Bali attained the desired result. Actually, the explanation of this mantra and of practically all the mantras of the Vedic hymns is summarized in Vedanta Sutra and properly explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the Vedic tree of wisdom. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular mantra is explained in the questions and answers between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukdev Goswami at the very beginning of their meeting. Hearing and chanting of the science of God is the basic principle of devotional life. The complete Bhagavatam was heard by Maharaj Parikshit and chanted by Shukdev Goswami. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukdev because Shukdev was a greater spiritual master than any great yogi or transcendentalist of his time. Maharaj Parikshit's main question was, what is the duty of every man specifically at the time of death? Shukdev Goswami answered, Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Smartavyasche Chata Bhayam. Everyone who desires to be free from all anxieties should hear about, glorify, and remember the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme director of everything, the extinguisher of all difficulties, and the super soul of all living entities. So-called human society is generally engaged at night in sleeping and having sex, and during the daytime in earning as much money as possible, or else in shopping for family maintenance. People have very little time to talk about the personality of Godhead or to inquire about Him. They have dismissed God's existence in so many ways, primarily by declaring Him to be impersonal, that is, without sense perception. But in the Vedic literature, whether the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, or Srimad Bhagavatam, it is declared that the Lord is a sentient being, is supreme over all other living entities. His glorious activities are identical with himself. One should therefore not indulge in hearing and speaking of the rubbish activities of worldly politicians and so-called big men in society, but should mold his life in such a way that he can engage in godly activities without wasting a second. Sri Isopanishad directs us toward such godly activities. Unless one is accustomed to devotional practice, what will he remember at the time of death when the body is dislocated, and how can he pray to the Almighty Lord to remember his sacrifices? Sacrifice means denying the interests of the senses. One has to learn this art by employing the senses in the service of the Lord during one's lifetime. One can utilize the results of such practice at the time of death.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice purport. So, some specific realization point that I wanted to share is Prabhupada's purports are so potent. When he says so potent, right? When you read through the lines, if somebody is learning somebody from a Mayavada philosophy or somebody from a different philosophical background who does not know Bhagavatam, who does not know Bhagavad Gita, who does not know anything, he's just a Vedanta or Vedantist or somebody who just want to understand these Upanishads. There are so many, like for them also Bhagavatam has to be understood. For them also Bhagavatam has to be glorified. So if you see the purport, Prabhupada is giving a preaching line. Prabhupada is giving the glorification of Krishna. Prabhupada is giving the glorification of Bhagavatam. Prabhupada is giving glorification of Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada is also glorifying the devotees. And Prabhupada is also glorifying the various ways by which one can do devotion service. So within one purport, he is so beautifully. I mean, it doesn't come just like that, right? So we know Bhagavatam, but somebody who is reading the Isopanishad will not know. Nigama kalpa toro phalitam sukamuka amurta dravyam, right? So that is what he is trying to mention that. Okay. So Bhagavatam is the mature Srimad Bhagavatam is the Sukhamukha Amrtadev. So it is coming from Sukadev, Amrtadev. It is like so much of mature fruit. Okay. Nigama Kalpa Toro Phalitam Phalam. So that Phalitam, that fruit is already kind of very like now in the mango season. If you see the mango, which is kind of ready to already ripened fruit and ready to fall and ready to eat just like that. It's so mature. So that is what Bhagavatam is. So it is all the condensed form, everything. So he takes that particular section. Prabhupada, if you want to understand Prabhupada's purport, if you keep reading again and again, you will see wonderful perspectives coming out of the purpose. So this para is all about glorifying Parikshit Maharaj, glorifying Bhagavatam, and also glorifying the Isha or the Isho or the Ishvara. What is that? That supreme person. Okay, so he's connecting that. And the previous sloka, previous paragraph, he's glorifying the wonderful devotees in one sense. The other sense is the Navavida Bhakti, the devotion service. How to do devotion service? What are the ways and means? Then what is the benefit of it? So that benefit is also is making. So in one purport, he's trying to fulfill everything together. So whomsoever reading, now we have gone through the path of Bhagavad Gita, we have gone to the path of Bhagavatam. Now we come to Isopanishad, we feel like, this is like, okay. But somebody is reading Isopanishad for the first time, but who doesn't know, he will get an opportunity. So that is where Prabhupada, still why we say Prabhupada Vsauce, he makes everything in a way, an opportunity. How do I convert everything as an opportunity to serve Krishna? How do I glorify Krishna as a preaching tool, as a mechanism by which I will be able to bring out all these bonded, this Baddha Jivatmas out of this material existence. Okay, so in that way also we can understand. So I just thought that. Then I think this Sudachara, I mean Durachara. Okay, these portions I think it is okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So we'll finish the last sloka.
Also, Prabhuji, I wanted to add one thing. In the shloka, it says about merging the air of life. So it is similar to like Bhishma Dev's like prayers at the end of his life. He was also, I think, he was desiring the same thing, that let now I be fully engaged in only seeing and remembering you. And he also talks about this merger. I think so, similar to that. Thank you.
Okay, that is what, see, at the moment of death, we will not know what is our actual desire. Okay, so we sometimes we will say, okay, Krishna, I want to serve you. Krishna, I want to go to Ayodhya. Krishna, I want to go to this place. Krishna, I want to be in Vrindavan. Krishna, I want to come back and serve you. Krishna, I want to serve you directly in Golok Vrindavan. We don't know really. Okay, so the mukti portion also we have to be very, very, very careful. Okay, so that is where we need to be, but we don't have to worry. Anything is okay. Anything and everything is okay. Okay, let's finish last look.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, Mataji.
Is it Brahma Samhita one, Prabhu? This one?
This one? Sloka 18? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read in that meter.
Agne Naya Supatan Raye.
Oh, the meter you are saying, yes.
Yeah.
Anenaya supataraya asman. Like that.
Vishwani Dev Vayunani Vidana
Vidwan.
Vidvan Yuyudha Asmaj Juhur Ranam Eno Bhuistham Te Nama Uktima Videma Agni, directly translation. O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you all you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions of my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. Purport. By surrendering to the Lord and praying for His causeless mercy, the devotee can progress on the path of complete self realization. The Lord is addressed as fire because He can burn anything into ashes, including the sins of surrounded souls. As described in the previous mantras, the real or the ultimate aspect of the Absolute is his feature as personality of Godhead, and his impersonal Brahmajyoti feature is a dazzling covering over his face. Fruitive activities or the Karmakanda path of self realization is the lowest stage in his endeavor. As soon as such activities even slightly deviate from the regulative principles of the Vedas, they are transformed into vikarma or acts against the interest of the actor. Such vikarma is enacted by the illusioned living entity simply for sense gratification, and thus such activities become hindrance on the path of self-realization. Self-realization is possible in the human form of life, but not in the other forms. There are uh,
84 lakh.
80, 84 lakh species or forms of life of which the human form qualified by Brahmanical culture represent the only chance to obtain knowledge of transcendence. Brahmanical culture includes truthfulness, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. It is not that one simply becomes proud of his parentage, just as being born the son of big man affords one a chance to become a big man. So, being born the son of Brahmana gives one a chance to become Brahmana. But such a birthright is not everything, for one still has to attain the Brahmanical qualification for himself. As soon as one becomes proud of his birth as the son of Brahmana and neglects to acquire the qualifications of a real Brahmana, he at once becomes degraded and falls from the path of self realization. Thus, his life mission as a human being is defeated. In the Bhagavad Gita 6.41 to 42, we are assured by the Lord that the yoga bharas,
Brishta.
bhartas, brashtas or soul fallen from the path of self-realization are given a chance to rectify themselves by taking birth either in the family of good brahmanas or in the family of rich merchants. Such births afford higher chances for self-realization. If these chances are misused due to illusion, one loses the good opportunity of human life afforded by the Almighty Lord. The regulative principles are such that one who follows them is promoted from the platform of fruitive activities to the platform of transcendental knowledge. After many, many lifetimes of cultivating transcendental knowledge, one becomes perfect when he surrenders unto the Lord. This is the general procedure. But one who surrenders at very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting the devotional attitude. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, the Lord at once takes charge of such surrendered soul and frees him from all the reactions to his sinful acts. There are many sinful reactions involved in karma kanda activities, whereas in jnana kanda, the path of philosophical development, the number of such sinful activities is smaller. But in devotional service to the Lord, the path of bhakti, there is practically no chance of incurring sinful reactions, because a devotee of the Lord attains all the good qualification of Lord himself. What to speak to those of Brahmana? A devotee automatically attains the qualification of an expert Brahmana authorized to perform sacrifices. Even though the devotee may not have taken his birth in a Brahmana family, such is the omnipotence of the Lord. He can make a man born in Brahmana family as degraded as a low-born dog eater, and he can also make a low-born dog eater superior to a qualified brahmana simply on the strength of devotional service.
Thank
Since
you,
the
Balaji.
omnipotent,
Yes, somebody else can read. I think the paragraphs are very clear. Somebody else wants to read?
Yeah, I'll read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I'll.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Balaji. Yeah, Balaji Prabhu.
Thank you. Since the omnipotent Lord is situated within the heart of everyone, he can give directions to his sincere devotees by which they can attain the right path. Such directions are especially offered to the devotee, even if he desires something else. As far as others are concerned, God gives sanction to the doer only at the risk of the doer. But in the case of devotee, directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly. The Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.42 says, Swapada Moolam Bhajata Priyasya Tyaktanya Bhavasya Hari Pareshah Vikaram Vikarma Yachotaptam Katanchit Dunoti Sarvam Hridi Sannivishtaha. The Lord is so kind to the devotee who is fully surrendered to his lotus feet that even though the devotee sometimes falls into the entanglement of vikarma, acts against the Vedic directions, the Lord at once rectifies such mistakes from within his heart. This is because the devotees are very dear to the Lord. In this mantra of Sri Isopanishad, the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within his heart. To err is human. A conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes, and the only remedial measure to take against such unintentional sins is to give oneself upon to the Lord's feet, upon to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. The Lord takes charge of fully surrendered souls. Thus, all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of His directions. Such directions are given to the sincere devotees in two ways. One is by the way of the saints, scriptures, and spiritual master, and the other way is by other way of the Lord Himself, who resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the devotee, fully engaged with Vedic knowledge, is protected in all respects. Vedic knowledge is transcendental and cannot be understood by mundane educational procedures. One can understand the Vedic mantras only by the grace of the Lord and spiritual master. Yasya deva para bhaktir yatha deve tata guru. If one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. The Lord appears as the spiritual master for the devotee. Thus, the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions, and the Lord Himself from within all guide the devotee in full strength. In this way, there is no chance for a devotee to fall again into the mire of material illusion. The devotee, thus protected all around, is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. The entire process is hinted in at in this mantra and Srimad Bhagavatam 12, 17, 20. explains it further. Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord is itself an act of piety. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant His glories because He is well-wisher of all living entities. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one becomes cleansed of all undesirable things, and then one's devotion becomes fixed upon the Lord. At this stage, the devotee acquires the Brahmanical qualifications, and the effects of lower modes of nature, passion, and ignorance completely vanish. The devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes
संदीप उसको
to
मोड़ो और छोड़
know
दो, पूरा
the
पूरा
path
प्रोसेसिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं है, किचन बहुत गंदा है,
way to
पापा
attain
के
to
घर
it.
में करो करो जल्दी करो रखो.
As all doubts diminish, he becomes a pure devotee. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purport 2, Sri Isopanishad, the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Thanks.
One second. Never know.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mute.
One second. First second. Okay. They are leaving. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we'll conclude this with this sloka. Very nicely Prabhupada mentions, and then they like the Lord is glorified as powerful as fire. Actually, the other way, but from a prayer perspective, we are not able to understand the Lord's glory full direction. So that way we are trying to glorify Him. Okay, so since you know that I have done in the past, please free me from reactions of all my past sins. Okay, so that there will not be no hindrance. So what is that progress? Progress is towards that supreme destination, and once we get to that destination, we will be able to perform the permanent real nature, like as per the Swabhava and as per his eternal activity, he'll be able to do it. So for that, please lead me on the right path to reach you. Okay? That is also very important, right? So this is also in one way, when we pray to the Lord, we glorify the Lord, we also seek advice, and we also pray to him, please give me right direction. So please give me right direction so that I will come to you. Okay? That is the ultimate question. Okay, so in that way we can understand. I think from a purport perspective, it is all very clearly mentioned. Okay? And Prabhupada bringing about the qualifications of a Brahmana, qualifications of a Vaishnava, irrespective of the birth, irrespective of their this one, they can be qualified if they follow or if they take up the qualities as described in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Satyam, Saucham, Archavam, like that. There is some specific set of wonderful qualities, right? So those qualities, if somebody is able to get, then irrespective of their birth, irrespective of their position, qualification, everything will be surpassed. Yoga Prishta. This talking about Yoga Prishta means even if they fail, they still get an opportunity, right? So that whatever be the failure, you don't have to worry. Okay, that is also specifically emphasized. Right? But what even Swalpamapasya Trayato Mahato Payat. Okay, so that way we can understand. Okay, let's stop here. Still we have done this. And Brahmana quality portion, then this Bhagavatam sloka also. The Lord will definitely protect. Okay, the Lord will give that direction. He will clear out everything. Then he will ensure that we don't do any specific mistakes. We will try to follow him. So the Lord takes charge of fully surrendered souls. All that we have to do is just to go by that direction, and we will be able to. This is also very nice. See, somebody will say, see, this is all wonderful preaching. When somebody reads Isopanishad, somebody says, I'm doing this yajna, I'm doing this tapasya, I'm doing this dhanam every time. This is my way of working. But Prabhupada is making it very, hearing and chanting itself is an act of piety. Means what? like you don't have to do any specific pious activity. You just glorify the Lord, just do the chanting. That itself is a spiritual activity. Just listening to the purports. Why are we making everybody to read the purports? Because you get an opportunity to read. You are actually serving Krishna. You are actually serving Srila Prabhupada. Right? So that is why if you don't come out to read the purports, then actually you are losing an opportunity to serve Krishna. You might be doing some other activity, something else means then you are actually not giving priority to Krishna, not giving priority to Prabhupada that day. So that is where we need to understand. You might think, okay, I know this purport, I know this, let me finish the exam. It is only 2 questions. In that way means then actually you are losing the opportunity. It is like whatever we say, who's the beneficiary? You are the beneficiary. Who's the loser? You are the loser. That's all. There's nothing going to be done. Okay. So Lord wants everyone to hear and chant His glories because He is the well-wisher of it. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose sheet or Isopanishad, the knowledge that brings one near to the Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes.
Prabhu, from Bhagavan, millions of jivatmas produce in every second, right?
Yes.
What will happen to all these, Prabhuji?
They'll be here and there. They'll be across not only in this material platform. They'll keep going here and there to all material platform based on the desire to Lord. Like I want to be this based, I want to be that. According to the desire, everywhere they'll be keeping going. Conditioned souls. And then the unconditioned are the what do you say? Are the liberated souls, they'll be assigned some specific activities. So according to Krishna's appointment, they'll go and then do that. So both will have position.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. But those all are like for example, these souls which we are talking about now, like me or all of us, all these, like when the time of death, if we have some desire, then we will become that. But the jivatmas emanating from the Bhagavan, those, Prabhuji, like just now in the earlier purport it was mentioned, if based on the effulgency of the Bhagavan, the smell, if they want to enjoy, then they will become, right?
Correct. So first time when they came out, all came out. And after the Mahapralayam, they will all go back. Krishna, Lord, the Lord will go into Yoga Nidra, and then again they will all come out. So this going and coming out is happening, continuously happening, and some of them are already in some specific material manifestations, material worlds. They'll complete that cycle. So for example, now we have, for us, it is Kali Yuga happening. In some other planet, in some other one, Kali Yuga would have been completed and then they would have already gone back into the Lord. In some, it will be only in Satya Yuga state. For some, it will be in, so like that, it will vary. So for us, it is in Kali Yuga, but for others, it will be in different yugas also.
So there are actually a lot of like this, not just one. Okay, Prabhu, understood. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I think this is what we have seen today specifically. I think this PPT is already updated in the folder. Today, the last lesson we saw revision, we can do quick revision. We can 5 minutes and then the introduction we saw, the pramanams we saw, the 4 defects, the parampara, why we are doing it. Also we saw invocation mantra, and then tektena punchita, like that portion also we saw. 4 to 8 is all about antar bahir avastha. This portion. How do we see as Vishnam Mahabhagavata? Ekatvam Manupashyatah. So seeing that oneness of the Lord is fulfilling desires. This 9 to 10 is all about Vidya and Avidya, knowledge, understanding about the Supreme Lord. 12 is about comparison between worship of Devatas and others. Why should we worship? Why should we never worship Devatas in that way? And then this result of worshipping and the result of non-worshipping the Supreme also we saw. And 15 to 18 is all about prayers. Prayers for revelation of the Lord's spiritual. Lord's pastimes, Lord's features, Lord favors the devotee, transmigration, understanding the Lord, and finally surrender to God. God is all powerful. He removes everything through the Paramatma, through the Shastra and everything. So what is the goal of Isopanishad is to bring one near to the Supreme Vishnu. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.